I'm happier that I became a teacher. Are you happy that you became a teacher?
Actually, looking back, I really wonder what I was thinking about pharmacy and cabin crew. Okay, cabin crew, yeah, you travel the world and then you, at one point, you get tired, sort of, and it's a bit limiting. So, to be honest, I'm really happy that I picked teaching.
This is Inset CPD Podcast.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Inset CPD and you're with Agnes Ngala. Hi, Miss.
Hi, Miss. How you doing?
I'm good.
Hi, people.
It's that time of the year again.
I know.
Yeah, and we have come to discuss more on Inset CPD. Today we are talking about
Our lives.
our lives. Yes.
As teachers, we want to start from where we started from. Like, do you want to be a teacher? You know, and we want you to walk with us this journey so that you can also tell us as we talk about ours.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So, Winnie, did you always want to be a teacher? Did you?
To be honest, I didn't want to be a teacher. I wanted to be a pharmacist, actually, and that was my first choice. My second choice, I wanted to be in cabin crew. And you want me to continue, or you say yours first and then I continue? Do you want to be a teacher?
You will be surprised. No, actually, it was not my first choice. In fact, I wanted to be an architect. I'm still within the line I wanted to be in. And then I keep saying in my other life I'll be a doctor. But I found myself as a teacher. That's how I got. In fact, when I was going to uni, I remember my dad telling me, you've got to do something to do with art because you love art. And then, since it's art, why don't you just pick it with education? So education was just to support the art part, but I knew my life was somewhere along the lines of art. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think, I don't know if it's different now that we didn't pick it as our first option. So, for me, the reason why, how I landed in this career was, so I talked to my dad. So we were having this discussion. I just finished my exams. So what do you want to do? I told him, and funny enough, the career things were not as pronounced. I don't know. I was
there now.
I remember I was just told pick subjects, and then I picked. But now there was after talking to my dad, he asked me, what do you want to do? I said I want to do pharmacy. He told me, why do you want to work in an environment that is lifeless and your personality is to inspire people? And I listened to him, like, why? And he eventually added and said, you need to work with people who, you know, in an environment like pharmacy, that means like hospital and so on and so on. So he was trying to discourage me. I later learned that is because he was actually not, he didn't want to pay for me. He didn't have the money to pay for me to go and do pharmacy, but also he's a teacher, and so he wanted me to pursue his career. So he insisted, just try. You have such a personality, and you're going to inspire kids. Just go ahead and do it. So because my first was pharmacy, I wanted to do. When I became a teacher, like I picked teaching. I didn't want to do anything with chemistry. I did chemistry, biology very well, but now pharmacy, I had to do math and
Your dad might have been right. Your dad was right.
So math. I don't know. So that's where we parted ways. So I decided to do French. Now let's go back to high school. When I was in high school, I was doing very well in chemistry and biology, and also doing very well in French. So one day, I think it was in Form 2, the chemistry teacher called me and said, why are you wasting time with this French? You're wasting time. You're very smart. You're wasting too much time with this French. Where is French going to take you? At that time, I think it was from the mentality that, you know, science is the way to go, and so on and so on. So I think either way, I did the 3 sciences because I was like, yeah, why not? So I did the 3 sciences, but I loved French. I did French, I did geography, and then there, of course, math, which is there. So when the results came and I had done very well in French, I had done very well in chemistry, very well in biology, I just remember the conversation I had with that teacher, you know, like, ditch this French, but at the back of my mind, my passion was French.
Okay.
And so, pairing that with what my dad had told me about French, I was like, let me just be a teacher. And I had the option of doing French, being a teacher for biology and chemistry. And I was like, no.
You're not feeling that one?
No. So I'm still dissecting frogs, even if I'm not,
You're not frogs,
like,
you're just resting.
okay, caterpillars.
Okay.
What do they dissect?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't even look like a chemistry teacher to you. Just look at me. It's going to be, I don't know, I'm just saying.
That was not your call.
It was not. It was
Okay.
just not me. So now let's move. I think maybe, so that because my story is long, let's come back to you, because now I'll tell you which teacher inspired me to stick with this French, you know, and up to now.
Can't wait.
But now you need to go back and tell us, you didn't want to be a teacher, you wanted to be an architect, and then finally you decided you want to do something to do with teaching and art.
You know, art in
It's gonna be a long story.
Not very. In fact, throughout my life, there are people who inspired me to pick these subjects. If you ask me, I like color, but to look at, not on me per se. Okay, I know I'm in red and all, but I like to see color and I like to work with color. Now there are people throughout my life who I wanted to be like there was a friend from primary way back. I just remember her as Anne Kafura. And then I used to love how she drew, and that was in class 3. Then, for real, I don't even take me back to nursery. My memory can be good sometimes. Then when I got to around class 5, 6 there, then there was a friend, she's been my friend for years, Lydia. I used to look at her calligraphy and it just used to blow your mind. Yeah. Then we get to high school and we were in the same school with her. And I realized, you know what, we can do this art. And then we did both art and French, believe me, but I wasn't as good with French, for real. Je parle un peu français. So,
what you say?
really, but I was better in art. Yes.
Okay, so let's go back. When did you draw the first thing to know I can draw?
That must have been in nursery.
But me, even now I know I can draw.
No, that must have been in
but
nursery.
then we'll draw a drawing thing later.
We should, right?
We'll do. That
You're
will be
speaking
awesome.
my life. So, yeah. So we went on to do art in high school. I did very well in art. And so that's why my dad told me, you know,
let me just cut you. Art in high school was more about what? Was it abstract, or was it relatable, or was it as broad as it is for the other subjects?
It was very broad.
So it was testing literally every other aspect of your skills.
Yes.
Okay.
Art in high school was very
so
broad.
you really had to be talented.
Well, I'll talk about the inspiration, the talent part, but art was broad. Let's just leave it at that for now.
Okay.
Art was very, very broad. In fact, we did both 2D and 3D art. We did the fine drawing bit. We constructed stuff. We printed cloth. We did. It was wide.
Okay.
I think it still is, because I teach art now, and I still give my students as broad an option as I got.
Okay.
So yeah. So fast forward, because I did so well in art, my dad insisted, you're still going to pursue this because it comes easy.
Shout out to our dads.
Hey, Dad. Hi, Dad.
Yay, Mr.
My dad insisted that, no, you're still going to do art because, 1, it comes easy for you, and 2, you still have so many options with it. So at the time, I went to register. I did art, I did education, and then, yeah, there was I. And then now with education, initially, and I know you also know, and will, like, as we transition, the very first lesson as a teacher in TP.
No, I think you've gone ahead.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But my very first lesson made me think about why I became a teacher. It had to be a time of reflection. So, but because of the kind of inspiration I got to continue doing art, even when I was not teaching, I still get to doodle. I still get to want somebody to do this well. So I think I'm happier that I became a teacher. Are you happy that you became a teacher?
Actually, looking back, I really wonder what I was thinking about pharmacy and cabin crew. Okay, cabin crew, yeah, you travel the world and then you, at one point you get tired, sort of, and it's a bit limiting. So, to be honest, I'm really happy that I picked teaching. So let me fast forward. When I started teaching, actually, okay, just before I started teaching, remember I picked French because my brother, when he was in high school, he started learning French. So he could come home with new words every other time. I'm like, what did he learn? So by the time I was going to high school, I already had some vocabulary up my sleeve. So guess what? I stood out in class. So the French teacher felt like I had more passion compared to the rest of the students. And so by the time we were doing our classes and so on and so on and so on, I was very interested in French, and the teacher was very good. She was so, I've talked about her so many times, but I'm going to repeat. She was Mademoiselle Auma. She was so good. Auma, actually, Mademoiselle Auma. She was so good.
Hi, Mademoiselle Auma.
I know.
Please shout her, give her flowers.
Please share this video until it gets to her so that we can call her and talk to her personally and tell her how much she affected my life. So now, and then I became a teacher, and I remember the very first time now my dad told me, Winnie, you are now a teacher, and I was going for TP at that time. He told me, you know, one thing I know about you is that you speak so fast, and you are supposed to be a teacher, meaning explaining concepts and ideas. You realize I've really tried to slow down. It's like I became aware as soon as I said it. So yeah, slow down. If you want to be a good teacher, you need to slow down so that you don't lose your students in the process. So I went to my first class TP, and it was as interesting. It was at Hospital Hill. The students were awesome. They were so good. I made so many friends, and then it's from that discussion that I was having with those students that I realized I think this is the right decision. And then soon after teaching practice, now you start. I started working, and working. You see now, it's no longer, you know, when you're in teaching practice, it's like you're, I don't want to say a demo, sort of. You're not sure, you're second guessing yourself, and everyone around is second guessing you. But now when you're working, even if you're very little experience, it's like you are now given the power, the capacity, all the things that you need to go ahead and, and practice. And so when I went to the class the first time now after graduating, it was very different. I felt like, the way students are so innocent, they're all seated, and then you walk in the first time, then you are with the maybe HOD. Good morning, guys. So this is so and so. She's going to be teaching you French and English, and then they all look at you, waiting for you to say something
to know what you're going to say.
Exactly. So it's from that I realized I really have to, prepare myself well, because they are very expectant. Kids were very expectant. Like, okay, so what are we learning today? What are we talking about today? And when you're young in your career, you're young in your life, you're just so naive at almost everything. You don't want to make any mistake. So that inspiration came from, I was looking back and looking at that teacher that inspired me when I was sitting on that chair. I was like, can I be better than that teacher? Yes, I can. What are some of the things that I can do? And then I started working on what I can do to become a better teacher. But inspiration, 100% starts from Miss Mademoiselle Auma. And then I'll come to the other teachers later, but I think you can talk about yours.
Well, hey, my teacher who inspired me, in my life I've had two people who inspired me.
In your career now?
Yes.
Okay.
To be the kind of artist I am. But the one person, and I've spoken about him several times. This was my teacher in high school. His name, Henry Oreng.
Hi, Mr. Oreng.
Hey, Mr. Oreng.
Let's also look for Mr. Oreng. So
yes.
Is this video?
Yes.
And then we invite him, right?
We need to invite Mr. Henry Oreng. He knew his content. Mr. Oreng drew so effortlessly. Like, the very first picture I remember, he was explaining how an artist just expresses what they see, and he drew, it was like a riot, but not a violent riot, and it had these girls who were wearing hipsters. Back in the day, hipster was a thing, with a spaghetti strap, and he got the curves so well, and then Like he was showing children and middle-aged ladies and old ladies, so you could tell the transition in the body structure. And then I liked how he drew the eyes, like the person would look at you straight in the eye. Oh, and then he used to draw animals so well. But the other thing is, he told us one thing that stuck with me, and I use it in class all the time, that I'm not expecting you to be 100% artists now, but keep at it. Every day, make sure you do some practice. Try. Draw anything that you see, be it a popcorn kernel, be it a picture of something that you've always had in your house. You know those things that you always have in your house. So make sure you draw something over and over and over again. The mundane, keep practicing on it, and then try to turn those into art pieces. So each time they'll just, I think I'd put him on a pedestal. But Mr. Reng, thank you. So by the time I was starting my first art lesson as an art teacher, that was Nairobi school. It was a boys' school. Where I get into class, and just like you, they're waiting to see what does this young girl have to teach us. And I had to try picture Oreng. How did his classes go? These are boys, and so I assumed that they were better in art than girls. It's an assumption, but hey, no, girls are really good. So girls are good for real.
Okay.
So I think my first class was just that, like just seeing what they had to do. Although now, over the years, I've had to change one or two things, because I also, like you, met teachers who inspired how I teach, and so I had to stop teaching it as a subject and have like a proper goal of exactly why am I teaching what I am teaching.
Oh, nice.
So like now, you miss, if we look at like now progressing, because today we're telling about our story, the teacher you are today. What are those journeys you've made? Who are those people who have inspired you? Are they people who are still teaching, or are they people in other career areas that make you the kind of teacher you are today? What drives you? Maybe you can, go through all of this.
So let me start as a French teacher.
Yeah.
So there's this lady who is actually I started working. I replaced her actually. So the first job that I got, she had traveled to the US.
Yeah.
So I was working for 1 month, and then I was supposed to, when she comes back, then I figure out what happens. But when she came back, so I just met her briefly before she left to the US. So we talked for a while. She briefed me how her lessons go and so on and so on. Then she left. But when she came back, she held my hand literally, and then it happened that when she came back there was another vacancy, so the school retained me, and so she held my hand throughout that whole term. And one of the things that I appreciated about her is that's how I knew how to teach French. That's how I knew that it's okay to teach French in English. Initially I imagined you're going to walk into the class and you say bonjour tout le monde, and then you just start French. So the first shock was, okay, so I have to speak English, but I'm teaching French. So you see, even I was not taught French in French. I was taught French in English, so that I get it's français langue étrangère because it's a foreign language.
Yeah.
So you treat it as such, so that they kinda, you see the way you're saying, you just practice day by day.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So that's the first thing. And then I also appreciated the bit that the students are going to come green. It's not like English where by the time they're coming to high school, they've known some bit of foundational English. It's French, they are totally green. So yeah, she really inspired me. She was very hands-on sort of. And then into leadership, can I jump into that? Into leadership, when I came to St. Austin's Academy, there was a head of the head teacher. At that point, she was called like she was the CEO at that time. She was very strict, she was very hands-on, she was very professional, and I learned sort of the hard way how to become a leader. And one of the things I appreciate about her is that she's that leader who initially she will get you off guard so many times until it gets you annoyed that no, I can't be. Like every time these things are urgently needed, I can't be the one who cannot submit. So you had to put your house in order in anticipation. And one of the things she kept saying, if your desk is dirty or is not organized, that speaks a lot about your mind. And to be honest, I think my mind sometimes is like that. If my desk is disorganized, just to know my mind is everywhere. So yeah, shout out to her as well. But also I feel the more you grow, the more you interact with people and people believing in you. Sometimes it's your peer, sometimes it's the student, sometimes it's a parent. The more they believe in you, the more you believe in yourself, the more you assert yourself, the more you see the need to grow and to be where you are. So in fact, when I was at St. Austen's, I was head of department, and she kind of saw that leadership and elevated me accordingly. And then I transitioned to Aga Khan, and I also was able to grow. And Aga Khan, let me say, it's one of those institutions which are very keen about, if you've been to Aga Khan, you cannot come out the same way. You always come out, when you go, it kind of helps you to stand out, because the playground is a bit different. That's true. It's very different. You can't go to Aga Khan and then you come out and you just still the same.
I was also at Aga Khan.
No wonder.
That's right? I'm listening
so
to you.
It's my experience at Aga Khan. So now, as head of English at Aga Khan, then on as curriculum coordinator, that is when now I think I learned leadership one-on-one, and it became even more hands-on. It became even more personal, sort of, because now you are learning to deal with members of staff, you're learning to deal with your colleagues, you're learning to deal with students, you're dealing with discipline, you're dealing with all this and all that, and parents directly. So you're learning that teaching has nothing to do with just the classroom. There's also the parent-teacher relationship. That's right. So you're calling for PTCs, you expect them to come, you need to engage them as often as possible. So I learned so much, and it's because this teacher head teacher at St. Austen's believed in me to allow me to take up leadership roles, which helped me to grow up to where I am today. So thank you so much, Miss.
Since you're mentioning the places you've been to, where are you now?
See, I'll answer that later.
Okay.
As a punchline.
As a punchline.
And then I mentioned the people who have mentored me where I am.
Where you are.
I know.
That's right. That's right. No, it's true. It's true, because we give flowers where they're due.
I know.
And, you know, like we've said in the past, you don't walk alone. People influence your life positively, and those that do so, then you walk with them. Or you carry on some principles that they have impacted in your life. Sometimes even without knowing. Right? Like when I started, and it just occurred to me, both of us have been in the private system for long, but
me, I've not been in the public at all.
Same here. I only did teaching practice in the public system, and then we were in the private system. But I discovered that education is just education, because we are still impacting the lives of children in our different capacities. And so there are certain tenets that remain that in the education space regardless.
Yes.
So I have a person, my first station was not easy after teaching practice. I was meeting children, and it was the first time I was teaching younger children. From high school, I was now teaching the primary level, elementary. It was not easy. My patience was tested. Oh Lord, my patience was tested big time. But my first station was a short gig. It was, I think, a term only. So when I moved to my next station, there was this gentleman called Mr. Ngaroya. Bless your soul, sir. He noticed that I was a new career teacher. And he held my hand just like the teacher who held your hand. Literally. And he kept saying, this was his punchline. Mr. Ngaroya, if you're listening, I still remember. He kept saying, Agnes, core business first.
It's teaching.
Core business. Let's know, core business is you and the student and your teaching. But even if you're not teaching, remember your core business is you and the student. That's why you trained for this. So whenever my mind was wandering, just like inside shows. I know, I was young, I really was. So like Agnes, core business. And that was drilled into my mind. And he held my hand literally, including emotional balance whenever you're dealing with students. How are you going to treat a child who's having a meltdown? How are you meeting a teenager who has refused to listen? How are you treating almost an A-leveler who is giving up on studies because it's too much? Like, as you're teaching, you're not just looking at the subject, you're looking at the student as a whole. Yeah, I remember Mr. Ngaroya showing me that, and I still do that.
And today, I know I've come to the art room so many times
Yeah.
and caught you doing the
I think it's just
counselor's work.
You call it counseling. We could be.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
But it's because of what Mr. Ngaruya taught me, and I saw him living that. He didn't just speak it; he did it. I saw him working with students,
He
and I also
embodied it too.
he did, and I also saw students whom he had taught many years prior,
How
who
they
used to
came
come
out,
back
yeah.
to say thank you. So I used to wonder, what is it that he's doing differently? Because some of my teachers were nasty. I don't even remember their names. That's how bad it was. But I wanted to be a teacher with a difference. So over the years, not only Mr. Ngaruya, there was, in my next station, there was Miss Stella Wango. She was my head of department. Have you ever seen Mother Hen? She protected me like this whenever I faced challenges. She protected me in the
You
face
need
of...
that when you're an early career teacher.
Right?
You need that.
She protected me in the face of the public. But when we were alone,
And she would now
give me the dress down, like, what was that? Why would you do that? Do you know? Follow through. You remain a professional.
That's what makes a good mentor
Right?
as well, yeah.
I think you're right. That made a
Because you
big
also need the
difference.
honest truth
Yeah.
that this didn't work,
Yeah.
but you also don't want it to be like,
Yeah.
all over the place. So,
Yeah.
Stella, wherever you are also.
Stella Wango.
Hey.
Yeah, shout out to you. But you see, as we are talking, these are teachers that have held our hands, literally.
Yes.
And I think they also noticed that we were young, and maybe I'll belabor this point, that when you are a teacher who's been in this space for so long, and you notice an early career teacher or a middle career teacher who needs you to hold
Or
their
someone
hands,
who's transitioning into teaching.
right?
Yeah.
Get off your high horse and help somebody.
I know.
Because sometimes it's a maze out there. We are meeting, and I don't know what's going on in somebody else's life, but the most you can do is hold this other person's hand to make them the better version of what they could be. What do you think?
In fact, now that you've said that, I've just remembered, at one point, sometimes it doesn't even have to be early career. I think one of the most important things in any profession is having someone who is going to be honest with you, to give you the feedback, but also most importantly, who's going to hold your hand. And when for example, I think there's a time my car broke down, okay? And for almost 6 months, I didn't have a car. I was talking to the mechanic every day, to the insurance, and doing all those things. And it was my very first time to have a terrible accident. I had survived it. There was nothing major, but the car was almost written off. So during that time, I would be at work, but clearly my mind it's far away. So there's one person who felt like I was, like lagging behind. I was not at my 100%. And I felt like, yes, it's okay for you to notice, but what did you do about it? Like, it's good to just find out what's going on, you know, instead of assuming that she's running another business out there. Sometimes it's the personal life that has really gotten into you.
That's right.
You're really dealing with so much personally. And so you just need someone to understand and hold your hand also in that aspect. And so for me, I feel having that person really made it easy for me and better, because now I was able to comfortably navigate without feeling judged, without also not dropping the ball also too low, so that in case I'm actually dropping the ball, I'm like, there's someone who's kind of holding you accountable, making you see the core business, teaching and learning. So I
think then we say that,
I don't know why the mood has changed.
No, we're now being a bit serious. No, but you see, we're talking about our journey, because the teacher you are today, you have to attribute it to experiences.
A lot of things,
and this a part of the many things is the experiences that we have had. Because if we can you imagine the Winnie who graduated from uni, who dropped into the workforce, would you be who you are without the contribution of people here and there, both negative and positive? Because you also learn to deal with human beings, and people will be good and people will be bad, but they are still people. It's human nature, right? So I think in a nutshell, our journey as teachers has been contributed to by many people.
And
even as we are now getting ourselves into Inset CPD, there are conversations we have all the time, because we talk about stuff. We talk about how can we get better, and even if we're moving on to the next step, we want to be better teachers. I believe we are still gonna get better, because there are people to impact, and that's what we're doing, impacting lives one teacher at a time.
Right? And so I think that's very good. One of the things I'm appreciating is that we have grown.
We have,
yes, and that's the whole point of professional development.
Yes.
That the way I started many years ago and the way I am today, my mindset has changed, my approach has changed, my skill set has broadened, and most importantly, I have grown also financially.
Yes.
As you grow, so it also means that when you grow professionally, it's somehow, most of the time, it grows with your financial. Especially if you're lucky, because nowadays it's also not the same. So if sometimes you might, the people who we know who are doing the second doctor, the third one, and still looking for a job. So I don't want to say that automatically that's what's going to happen, but it's better, it sets you apart. It becomes easier for you to grow also, even financially.
And teaching is a noble profession,
and I didn't know it was until
you got in, right?
Became a teacher.
We would not have taken it that way.
So Miss, where are you now? Because you asked me that question, I want to ask you so that I can answer, so that we conclude.
I'm at Rusinga School.
Yay!
And that's part of my growth.
It's a very good school. Is it in Lavington?
Oh yes, it is.
And the kids lovely.
Oh, yes, they are. It's a journey. You know what, Miss? As you're talking about your growth, you made me think where I am at, even now at Rusinga School, I'm doing things I didn't think I would be doing. Like, apart from Inset CPD, I'm impacting other people's lives. I'm getting, right now I'm in the space of technology.
EdTech.
Yeah.
She just don't want to say it. She's the head of EdTech. She doesn't
okay, I'm in the space of education technology and innovation. And you see, I'm excited because education is evolving. I'm no longer that yellow pages teacher that I keep talking about.
In fact, I've never seen you with a book in class.
Right?
So you're that tech savvy, right?
I take my flowers. So, but that's where I'm at. And as we say, we wanted to give you this journey because where we are today is not where we will be 10 years from today.
Of course.
It's not where we will be tomorrow. We want to keep growing. But you as a teacher, are you growing? As she's telling you my flowers as an EdTech, Miss, where are you?
So so guess what? I happen to be going to the same school as her. Okay, guys. So I'm also in Rusinga School. It's in Lavington. Okay, it's in Lavington. It's a Christian international school, and one of the things I love about being at Rusinga School is the foundation it has created in me personally, and the need to grow. Because I think being at Rusinga School has continuously challenged me to know that every year, number one, every year is different. Every time is different. Every lesson is different. Same students, you go in, you walk out, you come back, different. So that experience is, number one, it challenges me to want to be better every day. Number two, the teachers are lovely, the staff is lovely, the faculty are awesome. So shout out to the Rusinga family. We love you so much. Thank you for grounding us, because you're the ones who make it easy for us to do this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so I teach French and English, and it's also one of the things that make me feel, because I deal with kids, it makes me feel younger by the day, because they come, hi Miss, how's your day? And before you know it, you forget about all the struggles that you've had. So yes, shout out when I say shout out to Rusinga family, I mean literally everyone, from the kids to the parents, to the teachers, to the lovely members like Miss. Of course, the admin staff, they do a lot.
They do an awesome
the
job.
IT people.
Yes, they do.
They do a lot. They come to our classes anyway. That's another episode for another day. But thank you so much. So we're currently at Rusinga, and it is, and Mr. Nyamori is the person who has really helped me to grow, to be where I am, because I think I've kind of directly emulated some of the best practices he's had, because I was in a PLC with him, and he's very passionate about professional development. And so also shout out to him. You've done a good job, and if anything was to be if I was to look back, I wouldn't pick any other leader to work with, because he made it actually very easy, right from prep school all the way even transitioning to where he is now. So yeah,
Yes,
thank
yes,
you so
yes.
much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Nyamori, shout out to you. He is the head of Rusinga Schools, Nairobi, just so you know.
Yeah.
So this has been awesome, guys. That was our story. This is us, and we are growing, and we wanted to be vulnerable enough to show you that teachers, we start somewhere, and it doesn't matter the school, it doesn't matter the location, you are a teacher at heart first.
Yes.
So you also have a story. What is your story? Do you know Mademoiselle Ouma? Yeah, do you know Mademoiselle Ouma? Do you know Mr. Oreng, Mr. Ngaruya, Mr. Nyamori?
Yes. Shout out to all
the teachers. That if you have a teacher that has inspired you, tell us more about it, because
yes. And before we wrap it up, Miss, in case you're a school or you're a teacher and you're wondering, this professional development thing, how do we go about it? Please reach out to our email, our telephone number. We can sit down between us. There's a lot of knowledge, and we curate a very nice program for your school.
Yes.
We can come in person, we can do a virtual one. Either way, we are very open to just help you and your staff to transition to a working professional development program. So this is Insight CPD, impacting lives one teacher at a time. Let's sign out, and hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Next episode. Bye-bye. Like, share, subscribe.
Indeed. Bye, guys.
Bye.